Hi folks, you're with Tacitus today at your Pushback channel, and thank you for joining this live stream. In this essay, I'd like to talk about the globalist media control plan or strategy around the midterms. Now, the damage to the Democrat brand and by extension globalization has been pretty substantial. The claims that it's all because of Hitler and racists and Putin and this that's not really washing with a lot of people. It's cutting through with some, but not as many as they need. Now, the biggest weapons that the globalists have is, or if not the biggest weapon, is total control of the narrative machine, or 95% control of the narrative machine. They control all the major social media platforms and 95% of cable media and all the other media. So they've got they control the narrative, and that's their biggest weapon. Now, in spite of that narrative control, they're still stumbling and fumbling and staggering, which shows what a piss poor strategy and what a piss poor project the globalist thing is. It's unsaleable, and if it wasn't for their substantial control of the narrative machine, the media propaganda narrative machine, the whole thing it's a house of fucking cards. It's all going to come down. So the midterms, though, were of a concern, because again the Democrat brand's been so damaged. Some of the polls and predictions suggest that the Democrats, it's going to be a bloodbath. The Democrats could lose up to 100 electoral districts, even 110. Some are claiming, which seems a bit excessive. I mean, 60 or 70 maybe, and even then, I think that'd be the top end. But who knows? I mean, a lot of people are really annoyed about the price of petroleum and gasoline in the United States, and the cost of living going up, food, staples such as bread and the like. So this is clearly something that's biting in people's day-to-day lives in a big way, and they're likely to show their disappointment and frustration, annoyance. They're likely to show it in the ballot box, which is how democracy works, by the way. That is exactly how the government fucks up, the people punish them at the ballot box. That is how democracy works. And the Democrats have fucked up royally under the control and direction of the globalists. So it's not like they're making their own decision. It's like bumbling Biden. The whole Democrat Party doesn't make that decision. They take their orders and directions from the globalists and do what they're told. So the idea is that the control of the narrative machine can somehow limit the damage that they're going to get at the midterms. Now, they're going to get kicked no matter what. But if they can somehow lose, 40 electoral districts instead of 80 or something like that, or a lot less than otherwise would have, then that's something they've got to try and do. That then puts them in striking distance of, getting control of Congress, or certainly the House of Representatives. It puts them in with a show to pick it up in another 2 years after that. But if they get hammered, then it could be 6 years before they get a majority again, and that's something that really concerns them. 6 years without a majority in the House means that they that's going to slow the globalist project down somewhat. So that's the controlling a narrative. If they can, what I believe is they've already planned to shut down pretty much every pro-Republican or negative Democrat voice, whether it be on social media or anywhere. There's going to be a total blackout of negative comment on the Democrats, their policies, or indeed the effect of their policies, and they're going to run cover for Biden, even more so than they have been. So really, it's the way things are at the moment, amped up considerably, ginned up considerably, that effectively any criticism at all of Biden is going to be just off limits, just so they can contain the damage in the midterms. Now, on the other side of it, Republicans, a lot more Republicans will be coming into the House and to the Senate too. And so the idea is that the rhinos are going to get supported. So if there's a rhino that in effect is a globalist, a Democrat, just and a Republican in name only rhino, they're effectively globalists, just pretending to not be globalists. So there's going to be support of them, and any criticism of them, like pointing out their rhinos, that will be shut down as well, I believe, to make sure that if they do lose, if Democrats lose the seats, that it's rhinos that are elected into the House for the Republicans, which means that gives continuity to the globalist project. Similarly, there's looking at, depending on who you talk to, there's going to be anywhere between 2 and 5 Senate seats that might go to the Republicans. This seems to be rather optimistic. I can't see that happening, but maybe it will. But if that's the case, and the Republicans win 50, 60, 70 electoral districts in the House of Representatives, the US Federal House of Representatives, and pick up 3 or 5 Senate seats in the Senate, then they're going to be going to have a very substantial working majority. And if provided there's no rhinos getting elected, or very few, then that could turn into quite a nice anti-globalist party there. Let's hope so. Anyway, that was the plan, I think, that they had, and it all was all nailed down. They'd had their strategy meetings. The Democrat goons had met with the folks at YouTube and Twitter, and so on. It was all very nicely put to bed and planned and strategized and written up, and lots of backslapping and handshaking and so on. And then, what do you know? Elon Musk pops up. And holy fuck, we didn't see that coming. And so this makes the struggle to stop Elon Musk even bigger, because if he does succeed in getting Twitter, that effectively the entire strategy for containing the fallout from midterms just goes up in smoke. And so the Democrats and the globalist strategists must be shitting themselves right now. You've been with Tasseless today, your Pushback channel, and thank you for listening.